All right, AJ. Well, thank you so much for hopping on this call with me. I am super excited to kind of, chat and get to hear your story, get to hear about how you started in fitness, kind of what spurred that, and how, you know, with current environment due to COVID, how that's changed. Because talking to the coaches at Tradewinds, you've been crushing your workouts during this time. And so I'm really curious, like how you started, what changed, and what you're doing now that's been so successful for you. So thank you for hopping on this call with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. And obviously, thank you for all of your help and guidance. A lot of that crushing it is coming off the guidance of you and Mary. So thank you.
Well, thank you for those kind words. I mean, you're not my client, so I don't really do that much with you, but I guess my programming is good. I'll take that. All right.
There it is.
All right. So AJ, tell me, how did you even get started like in fitness and on this kind of fitness journey of yours?
Um, I, I probably like most people was really active. High school, which was quite a long time ago. You could tell by the grays. Um, College definitely dropped off quite a bit, and then since then I've been slowly working my way back in. Um, I gotta say, with I didn't start CrossFit until I moved to Boston, and that was at Southie for just a couple of months. But I was been interested in it since 2006, I think. I took a class with a buddy of mine who went into the Navy afterwards, but that was kind of my introduction into it. So once I got to Boston, I was living on my own, bored, didn't know anybody. Grew up on the West Coast, so it was really to kind of jumpstart finding a community and a team and a group of people I could hang out with and do all that. So I figured why not roll that in with some fitness, and CrossFit Southie was awesome experience, but it definitely was not probably the right environment for me. They were really aggressive, and I was obviously very not shy, but I was not confident in my abilities. My flexibility was even worse than it is now. And yeah, so I left there after a couple of months. And then it took, I guess, what is it, 17, 18, maybe 2 years,
Wow.
get back into it, which is we moved, my fiance and I, to Revere last April. And so from last April to October, when I met you guys, I did a lot of research, tried to pull the trigger a couple of times, but eventually made it into your door. It's less than a mile. So I that first day I ran to the gym and met with Leia and had a real good feeling about it. And yeah, so that's how I started in fitness. Yeah.
No, that's great. And I think that shares a similarity with a lot of people, kind of coming out of college, not really doing much. Yours was a little bit more prolonged, right? The 2 year gap between when you were at Southie and when you moved to Revere. And that's okay, right? Everyone's on their own little adventure, and that there's nothing wrong with that. So, but the fact is that you started. So, what made you finally pull the trigger and like schedule that intro with Leia?
Yeah. So I mean, there was definitely that 2 years I was running. I tried to run a lot. I did some jujitsu, and I was trying to keep active, but it was all kind of very specific workout activity, and I was looking for something um, kind of more holistic or that would work on kind of everything. Um, so that's definitely, I figured CrossFit was the thing because I do get quite competitive, and that helps me a lot, even though I'm not competing against anybody.
Right.
Just being able to see other people and try and keep up is a lot of, I mean, is a lot of motivation for me. Um, and I don't know what it is. I did a lot of research between CrossFit Revere and Tradewinds just to see, which was closer, which one I'd like better. Um, and I figured you guys had, just set a time and show up and have a chat. And I had a really good feeling about it. We went through a couple of the movements, and I think I was in class the next day. and didn't even go look at Revere. So yeah,
Nice. Well, listen, I'm happy that you signed up because I mean,
yeah,
you're an awesome athlete and a great member of the community. So I think you made the right choice, obviously. Um, that's great. So, what was kind of your workout routine like pre what we're in now?
Oh man. Okay. Um, so it's changed a lot because uh, COVID is actually I've used it as an opportunity. So I travel probably at least 1 week, sometimes 2 weeks every month
Mhm.
for work, which is obviously not good for a workout routine. So when I joined in October, I was coming 2 or 3 days a week on average per month, which is not a great average when you look at it for what I was trying to accomplish.
Right.
Great to get in there and had a lot of fun, but you take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Um, so then this COVID thing happened and everything shut down pretty quick,
Mhm.
and uh, fairly quickly I realized that I had no obligations to travel, so I had a lot more control over my situation. A lot of people were making jokes that like, "Hey, this is how I'm going to enter COVID, and when I get out, I'm going to be 60 pounds heavier and eat all my snacks in the first week." There was all those memes, and I was like, "I'm not going to do that. I've got this opportunity, so I'm going to work out, basically every day that I, you know, work out every day is what I was trying to do. That's pretty hard. So I've been doing 5 to 6 days a week. The other 2 days I'll go on a bike ride or a long walk or a hike. So just trying to be active every day. Had a lot of help from both you and Mary for getting my nutrition dialed in a bit. It's still not perfect, and it's still really hard, as we had that quick discussion earlier. But I think overall, it's been a whole lot better. I've lost a bunch of weight. I've noticed like my body looks different, which
Nice.
hasn't happened in a long time. So that's in a positive way for me. Um, and yeah, I'm able to run quite a bit longer, and you feel good. You don't get tired walking up the stairs carrying groceries, and it's yeah. So you know, took this as an opportunity to kind of go all in and just see what we could do with what I thought was only going to be a month or two of uninterrupted working out, but now it looks like it's going to be 4 or 5 or however long. So yeah, keep going until they send me back to work.
That's that's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
that's right. So you took a crisis that
Mhm.
everyone was joking about, right? There was the whole like COVID-19 joke going around, and you even said it yourself, the memes about eating all my quarantine snacks within the first week.
Yeah.
And I saw them. I know what it was like, right? Everyone was kind of like, I bought all these snacks. Now my snack cabinet is sitting right next to where I work, and all I do is just eat from it all day long. And you took this crisis and you said, I'm going to make this an opportunity, and took control of the things that you could control. You can't control not being at work anymore. You couldn't control, back when work was around, whether or not you traveled. That was just part of the job. And so now that you had this ability to control your schedule, you took advantage of it. That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
great.
So it's been real interesting, a lot of fun. We've been doing the intermittent fasting, so don't stop eating at 7 p.m. Don't eat again until after I work out at 1 o'clock.
Hmm.
I added a protein shake in at the morning just to get a little something to get me going, but it's yeah, it's been good.
That's awesome. No, listen, and by the way, I still get winded when I go upstairs, so I don't think that ever changes, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah, well, it's certainly getting better.
Right. But yeah, I mean, isn't that why we do functional fitness? So that we can take all the groceries up the stairs in one trip?
One trip
One
I
trip.
will use.
Yep,
So
that's it. That's why we work out, right? That's exactly why. So you said your body's changed, you've lost some weight. Like, talk to me about those results. Like, what have you experienced so far?
um so right before it was right as this started, so it was March 18th. I got back from Mexico, and that's thing. it was a Sunday, I believe. That Friday, you sent an email saying, "Hey, if you traveled, you got to stay out of the gym for 2 weeks." I was super bummed for that whole next 2 days until when I got back on Monday. You said, "Hey, the gym's just going to close," and I was like, "Oh, thank God, it's not just me."
Nope.
Outside the window and look at you guys working out. But when I got back, that was literally the heaviest I had ever been, weight wise. And lucky for me, it was a wedding, so there's tons of photographic evidence.
Oh,
So, beautiful picture of me and my fiance with me looking like um, Big Tubbo.
oh,
I keep on my desk as motivation. So luckily, wedding weight comes off pretty easy, it looks like. So um, that first 3 months, March, April, May, I was able to lose just over 20 pounds. I'm up a little bit since then. I think I'm up 5 from my lowest COVID. But, we're still working away slowly at it, and just positive trends. I was really trying to do everything at once, as I'm sure a lot of your athletes are. Let me see. Hold on. I've got a thing. So I figured if I just wrote it down what my weight was every day, I have a scale, and I just focus on losing 1 pound a week, that would help.
Mhm.
Rather than trying to lose like 2 pounds a day or whatever nonsense I had in my head, I was like, let's just focus on one per week, and in 10 weeks I'll be 10 pounds lighter, and small changes rather than trying to turn the world upside down and stress myself out. So that's been, I don't know, interesting. Obviously, a
Yeah.
lot of time and focus and
No,
come up
and,
with
and that's exactly what it is, right? Like, so you said it yourself, it's small changes.
yeah,
And you like, at first in my head, it was like 2 pounds a day. That's not sustainable, nor is it actually healthy.
yeah,
And so then you were like, well, what if we just lose 1 pound a week? So small changes over the long term,
yeah,
right? That's how fitness happens. That's how nutrition happens, right?
mm,
It's not like you walk into the gym and then all of a sudden you can deadlift 600 pounds,
yeah,
right? It's small incremental changes over time, right? Yes, you may jump a lot at first, right? And you may lose a lot of weight at first because there's water weight and you're getting all that junk out of you. But then sustainable progress is really small steps over the long term. And that's
yeah.
great. That's the perfect mentality to have, AJ. Nice job.
Yeah. Well, it's good, and it's great to have a fitness routine kind of on a daily basis, because I can also tell now when I don't have energy, and I can
Mhm.
usually correlate that to what I did or didn't eat, or what I drank and shouldn't have drank, or even sleep. And it kind of uses it as a benchmark to be like, there's been some real tough workouts that should not have been nowhere near that hard, that you just drag and just feel like you're out of gas. What was that 4 mile run last week? That
Uh,
was that
Shane
was tough.
Ortega,
But,
yes. No,
yeah,
listen, I mean, that was tough for everybody. Let's be honest, right? It was a 4 mile run
yeah,
and push press and burpees. That was not easy for anybody. Didn't matter if you slept perfect and ate perfect. It was still tough.
yeah. But it was, yeah. But it's using the workouts as a benchmark too. Is helping dial in kind of the nutrition and all that. But it's also sad to realize that in my stage in life, and metabolism being where it is, that I basically need to be almost not perfect, but need to be a lot lower than where I thought I needed to be calorie wise, and still keep the activity every day in order to make these positive changes.
It's not easy, right? And that's why a lot of people don't do it because it's
Yeah,
not easy. And yeah, for some people it comes more naturally. It's just genetics, and some
yeah,
of us it doesn't, right? But at the same point, no matter what your goal is, chances are a goal is a goal because you don't already have it. So if you don't already have it, chances are you have to work for it. And so while somebody like yourself or myself, it's harder for us to lose weight, there are other people in the world that it's harder for them to build muscle, and they have
yeah,
to work at that. And so everyone's goals are just different, and we all have to work pretty much equally as hard depending upon what our goal is. So,
a
you know,
lot of hard. Yeah, I
right.
think that's a good motto.
What's the expression? things that are worth it don't come easy.
Yeah. Or everything you want is at the other end of hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's there's a ton of euphemisms about it
Yeah.
because if there are, it's got to be true at that point then, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, AJ. I really appreciate hopping on this call. Like I said, you've talking to Mary, who's been assigned your coach. You've been crushing it. I mean, literally seeing you on the virtual workouts on a daily basis, and I didn't even know you'd lost all that weight. So that's phenomenal. Nice job, man.
Thank you. Well, luckily you didn't see me at the top. So I stuck a couple in on there just to pad my numbers a bit.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
Great. Well, thanks for hopping on this call with me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
absolutely. Have a good one.